Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by Toyota and Bet365. 6-0 Cubs. Matthew Boyd, the Cubs stopper, does it again. Plus Rich Hill, a trip down memory lane with the old man. And our trade talk targets of the night. CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? This is the CHGO Cubs podcast, driven by Toyota. Let's go places and Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Use the code CHGO365 at sign-up. 6-0 Cubs. They turn it around against the Royals, and we have a split series so far with the rubber match coming up tomorrow afternoon. Nice to get back in the win column. But entering the day, a game behind the Brewers. Luke Stuckmeyer. You know, for those people that thought they were tuning into a Bears podcast because the Bears, started today and everything's Bears. We are trips to the right. I'm under center. We got Joey Christopoulos and we got Patrick Norton. And then we have Sarah.
Hi.
Running the ones and twos, spinning the dial. She's the Ben Johnson of the team.
She's the coordinator. She's calling plays.
She's the offense coordinator. She's calling the plays for us.
She makes us do 20 burpees before the show. She's coaching us along the gas.
If that were true, I would not be here.
Yeah.
You'd have your Arena Club slab.
I'd be 6 under
slab
probably.
packs.
Yeah, that's right. I might have my slab packs back.
Yeah.
Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat here at the all-new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, and tell a total stranger. Make sure you give a positive review while you're at it. Let's see, who's in the chat tonight? A lot of the regulars. I see Becky's here already. This was, as Marcus Salomon says, a really good win tonight for the Cubs. Yeah, the Royals are bad, but you saw what happened last night, which was the flip of that. And I don't know what else you need to say about Matthew Boyd. I said it at the end of the show last night, like you got your stopper coming. Whenever they seem to play a bad game or a couple bad games in a row, Matthew Boyd seems to come to the mound. And he's there at all the right. 7 shutout innings again tonight. He was awesome.
He was great. And I see already in the comments, this is what I expected yesterday to be. And at least it's here today. Thank goodness at least it's here today. And as true to form for the Chicago Cubs this year, they have a chance to take 2 or 3 tomorrow. Matthew Boyd, and we were talking during the show or during the game, he's having a special season. And it's the type of special season that, as you mentioned, when he's a stopper, when he gets out there, he is just so in control of all of his pitches right now. Mm-hmm. He's not only getting ahead of hitters, but also he's mixing it up. He's moving it slowly in. He's moving it slowly out. A lot of weak contact tonight. And it was just what the doctor ordered because we'll get into it a little bit. The offense wasn't anything particularly special. They made some great defensive plays. This is probably going to go into the category of maybe a little bit of an uglier, a little bit more of a dirtier win. But when Matt Boyd's on the mound, anything less than what we get tonight, isn't that the expectation at this point for Matt Boyd, that he's going to go out and pitch a gem almost every time he takes the bump?
Yeah. Great how a rotation works, right? When you need him, he's there. When you need Shota, he's been there. And then a lot of that is just Matt Boyd, I'm at a loss for words only because Matt Boyd has done something this year that I don't think that we've seen from the Cubs in the last few years, and that's just be the steady hand. Even when Shota was great last year, even when Steele was great 2 years ago, you were never quite sure. You could never be 100% confident in their ability to go out and just give you 7 innings. And right now, Matt Boyd's in that just role right now where he is giving you that.
So many people concerned about his health and that he's pitching too much, and because he's had Tommy John and he's had injuries, and listen, we didn't expect him to be this good. I don't think this year. I think people thought there was a potential that he could be a really good pitcher, but I don't know if people thought he'd be this. He's now 23 straight scoreless innings. It's his 14th quality start. Only Mitch Keller, Zach Wheeler, and Logan Webb have one more, 15. By the way, Mitch Keller, trade target. Talk about him later. So
Seth Lugo on the bump tomorrow, too.
Seth Lugo on the bump tomorrow. We'll talk about him later. His ERA down to 2.20. That's second in the National League behind Skeens, fourth in Major League Baseball. It's Skeens, it's Skubal, it's Crochet, and it's Matthew Boyd.
Yeah, just as we all thought before the season, right?
Just how you draw it up when you pencil it in when you begin the season. And to your point really quick about people being concerned about his innings workload, tonight is the perfect type of start to kind of fly in the face of that, because I didn't really see him under duress or pressure.
He wasn't Rich Hill huffing and puffing.
No, he was not. No. Rich Hill, taking an ibuprofen in the third inning and waiting for it to kind of loosen up before he can get back out there. Retired the first 11 hitters, walked that guy right, walked into the fifth inning with a no-hitter, gave up a hit. But, I mean, he was up until that one inning, and there was a couple great plays in there and a couple of bunts and some other stuff. He really didn't have to work very hard tonight. And I think that kind of goes underrated, where I get it, these innings are going up on a count, but these weren't necessarily the most stressful innings in the world. And this is just Matthew Boyd day, got a win day. He got it.
He got a little extra time coming back from the break. They didn't throw him right away.
No.
So that was beneficial, I think.
He's not Kyle Hendricks in terms of the lack of emotion on the mound, but he's also not, wasting energy either. And
he gave a couple good fist pumps today
on some great defensive plays.
Yeah, I had that high heater to I think it was his last pitch of the night too. He was pumped up. He was feeling it.
That's when you show it. That's right.
Yeah.
Listen, I love what Matthew Boyd did, but if you want to talk about defense, for all the Dansby haters out there, this game turned on one play. You talk about pivotal moments.
Big time.
They got bases loaded, one out, and Dansby snags a liner and doubles up the runner at second, where they had to go to the review and they get the call. That changed the game.
Big time.
It completely changed the game. No, it should have been called correctly the first time, but a terrific defensive play. And I know Dansby takes a lot of heat for a lot of different things. That was a big play in this game. And the people that say he's not good defensively, I just don't know what to tell you.
And he had another great play in the ninth.
Yeah.
Stepping on second and throwing to first. That's a play where you, again, we talk about the steady hand and Matt Boyd providing that this year. You have the steady hand at shortstop. You have the steady hands really kind of all across the infield right now, where you can rely on their defense in a great way.
Yeah, and you look back, you guys did a show last night, and Sarah was talking about the Cubs making miscues, getting themselves into trouble. Yeah. Well, tonight it was the Royals doing that. And in that sequence right there, it's one of those crucial things that happens in the middle of the game, but it kind of turned into the story of the game, where they tried to lay the bunt down. Justin Turner did a great job letting it go foul. But then they were able to get Matthew Boyd early, a little bit later with that infield single, and then here comes Dansby with that liner, snagging it, tagging that guy out. I'm with you. The umpire had a great look at it. I don't know why we needed to waste the challenge there, but we got it. We got out of the inning.
Perfectly
I'm just looking to see. I'm trying to check the Brewers. Still scoreless, top of the fifth.
There's scoreboard watching.
I
know it's that time of year.
Geez, they're going for 12 straight wins.
It is Mizorowski tonight.
Yeah,
correct?
it is. Yeah.
So I believe that lines up for next Monday then.
Well, it also reminds me each time, like, I'm trying to think to myself, what are the Brewers doing well? I still don't think that this will continue for them. Like, it's a hot streak. Sure. It's super impressive. The Cubs haven't played bad baseball, and they've caught the Cubs, and they've passed the Cubs. But I watch Boyd pitch tonight, and I think, okay, you got Shota coming up soon, yada, yada, yada. I feel great about, like, Shota and Boyd. I don't know when Tyone's coming back, right? And he's a little more hit or miss anyways. The Brewers, the one thing that they have, I love that the Cubs offense stacks up, and it's better than the Brewers, period. But they've got three horses that would scare me in a playoff series. But if you can match that, that's why when we get to the trade talk stuff later in the show, I just want to point out the starting pitchers mostly, because if they can get one more guy to go with Shota and Boyd, it may not be Miz and Peralta, but I think it can be right there with it. Sure. And then it comes down to offense, and I believe the Cubs have better offense.
Yep.
Well, and also what we've just seen, shout out to Derek, by the way, in the chat saying nice stuff about us. Thanks, Derek. Thanks for coming in the chat. We did all the hand-wringing yesterday about Ben Brown. And as we're going to be doing shows over the next week or so with the trade deadline coming up, what are we at, 8 days right now? Where those Ben Brown spots, I believe, are about to be filled by some of these players that we're going to be mentioning later in the show. And as you mentioned, if you can do Shota, Boyd, and if you can pair them with that Trips, get that Trips going with that third guy. Colin Ray, I feel pretty decent about when he takes the bump. I feel like we have to score some runs, but I don't feel that agita that I feel with Ben Brown or, could this be a bullpen day because Colin Ray is going to blow up. I think he's going to give you an honest effort that I think can get you through the rest of the season. But if you get that third person with Boyd and Shota, I think you're really cooking now. You can do Ray. Maybe Tyone comes back. But again, I think that Ben Brown start that made us all super upset last night, I don't think we're going to see that much more.
I don't want to sidetrack us too much, but interesting to point out, Mizorowski out of the game at 3 2/3, 64 pitches.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're saving him for the Cubs.
Maybe
They're like, hey, great job. Let's save you for some. He did pitch in the All-Star game.
Mind games.
They the Mariners were able to escape the fifth, but as I was just kind of reading through the play-by-play here, it is as Brewers of a game as possible. They got their first hit to lead off the fifth, and then advanced to second with nobody out on a wild pitch, and that would have been the perfect way for the Brewers to hold on to their
Then
lead.
a bird came down and distracted a Mariners pitcher.
Exactly.
A rounding third comes the Brewers. They've won their 18th game in a row. Yeah,
I believe
Very
we
cool.
have a Toyota Super Chat here in the live YouTube chat. It's our guy, Steven, always with a Super Chat for us. He says, Casey for Cabrera straight up, yes or no? Cabrera, somebody that was pitching tonight, I believe, for the Marlins. Cubs scouts are there.
That's what we saw.
And it seems like the Cubs have focused on him almost more than Alcantara. Alcantara's had a horrible season. Like I know that the past is the past, and you can look at it and say, well, if we could capture that. But there also has been very little this season to say you're going to be able to do that.
And even when he started June well, it was
to me, it's a bigger gamble.
away, big time. Even when he started June well, he has since gone back to the poor starts again, and it's not there for him.
So we will get to more of that coming up, Stephen, a little bit later in the show. As you mentioned, the offense, it was little stuff. Like, it's not like the Cubs slugged a bunch of home runs tonight to get their 6 runs, because we've had a lot of people telling us that they only wait for the home runs and it's the only way they can score. And that's just sort of revisionist history, because there's lots of games where the Cubs have nickel and dimed their way to a bunch of runs, and you say, how did they get all those runs? That's one thing I like about this team is they don't just need home runs. You have games where you can win like this with a good pitching performance. Yes. Matt Shaw singles, Nico Fielder's choice, PCA double, say a blooper, a Carson Kelly sac fly. Like, nothing was spectacular. If it's old school Sports Center, like, they're showing Matthew Boyd highlights and not a whole lot else.
Rich Hill had him on their toes tonight. I can't believe I'm saying it, in the way back machine, right? We were tracking it. I think up until that 5th inning, I think the Cubs had only 3 bats on ball over 100 miles an hour. And it wasn't like he was overpowering them. He only had 1 strikeout, which was Kyle Tucker in that first inning after that nasty foul ball off his leg. But he was a bit mystifying. Yeah. He was vexing a little bit. They couldn't quite square him up. He got into a nice little rhythm there, I feel like, in that 3rd, 4th inning stretch. Able to get the ball inside on a couple of guys and jam them up. But yeah, no, it wasn't pretty. And the 45-year-old Rich Hill, I think, gave him a good effort tonight. I mean, the Cubs were able to scratch some runs aside, but what's that?
Young and spry, Rich Hill.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Look at Braggs in the stands. Braggs in the stands is out there after a full day of football coverage, sweating. And there he's putting in chats one after another. Base running was the most impressive thing today. Relentless pressing the Royals catcher.
4 stolen bases against Rich Hill, 7 all night long. I mean, that was one of the things where I guess maybe the old man couldn't multitask quite the way they wanted to. That double steal was huge too as well.
He's always been very deliberate to the plate, Rich Hill. And we will talk more about the former Cub and old man, as we call him, coming up in just a bit. What did you think of seeing Rich Hill back at Wrigley Field? Tell us in the live YouTube chat. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Hey, baseball fans, if you're thinking about upgrading your drive this season, Toyota's 2025 lineup is definitely worth a look. There's the RAV4, versatile, reliable, and always ready for a little adventure. Grand Highlander, plenty of room, super comfortable, great for families or long road trips. Looking for efficiency, the Corolla's got you covered. It's smart, stylish, and easy on gas. Need something tougher? The Tacoma brings serious durability. And finally, the Camry. I had one of those. Sleek and packed with performance. Summer starts here, so visit your local dealers today. You can check out the full lineup at Toyota.com or stop by your local Chicagoland Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places. And also, Luke, we got to talk about becoming a diehard.
Please do it.
I did it several years ago, and I got to tell you, I loved it. And you can upgrade your fandom today by becoming a diehard with exclusive written content, a free T-shirt, plenty of discounts on future merch and events, plus access to our Chicago Discord lounge. So go to allchgo.com for latest information, how you can become a diehard in the community. Can't wait to connect with you on the greatest level.
Just like your favorite team needs a home field advantage, your home needs a home flooring advantage, and Empire Today can help you get that. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. We've all been to the big box store. You walk around aimlessly, and sure enough, the person that might be helping you in that flooring department could have been selling sinks the day before, might be in the garden center tomorrow. Empire Today lives and breathes flooring, and with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners, are you ready? You get $350 off. That's the discount when you use the promo code CHGO. You heard me right. Type in our letters. $350 off with the code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. Empire
Today.
Great start by Matthew Boyd. Cubs win 6-0. They beat Rich Hill, the former Cub who made his major league debut with the Cubs 20 years ago. He has pitched in 20 straight big league seasons. That is hard to believe. Now, have they all been full seasons? 14 teams in 20 big league seasons. We were talking about it yesterday. I was reminiscing about being there for that first game. You think about some of the guys on the team when he first started playing in 2005. He's a teammate of Nomar on the Cubs. He's a teammate of Greg Maddux and Nomar on the Cubs. Jeremy Burnitz on the Cubs. Like you're going way back into Cubs history. He's the oldest pitcher in a game since 2012. 14th team, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, and 1 strikeout. So, first of all, the first 2 innings, I thought he was going to throw up. He was laboring so hard, right? Like, when he came off the mound in that first inning, the catcher kind of looked at me. He's like, no, I'm okay. But he was huffing and puffing.
Cursing.
And he looked like I would look after a 50-yard dash, right? Like, he looked exhausted, and he fought through it. And, man, it made an old guy proud to see another old guy out there at 45 get through those first 2 innings. I believe he threw 50 pitches in the first 2 innings.
He was easily
right
up in the 30s.
He was right at that 50 pitch mark after I think 2 innings.
Yeah, he was close.
And I thought, man, he's not going to make it 3 innings. This is getting him. This is like when Mike Tyson tried to fight again. Yeah. That's what he looked like. Early in the game, he looked like Mike Tyson trying to fight at his old age. And then all of a sudden, as you mentioned, Joey, he got in that groove. So then I spent some time trying to figure out who is this comparing to? Like, where's his? What do you think of Rich Hill's career, right? I mean, it's certainly successful.
Sure.
Yep. Played at Michigan, came up. Did he turn into the stud pitcher they were hoping when you saw that curveball the first time? No, because it wasn't linear. It was a super roller coaster.
And really quick, Luke, I remember Rich Hill when he came up. The Cubs thought he was a legitimate piece.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he was very effective for a couple years. He was a really effective pitcher. So Rich Hill in 20 years, 1,414 innings, 1,429 strikeouts. Okay? 14 innings compared to this next guy I'm talking about, 1,982 innings in 15 years and 1,600 plus strikeouts. That pitcher is Ted Lilly. So Ted Lilly played 5 years less, but had more innings and more strikeouts. Kyle Hendricks is at almost 1,700 innings with 1,300 strikeouts. So Hill with more strikeouts, obviously more years. You mentioned Charlie Huff.
The big boys, yeah.
Some of the old guys, right? 3,801 innings, so way more innings, way more strikeouts. Jamie Moyer, who pitched till he was 49, also, of course, a former Cub from my childhood, and still pitching at 49, 4,074 innings, 2,441 strikeouts.
12,000
so he's not close
outs.
to Jamie Moyer either.
12,000 outs. Can you?
I mean,
hey, it's a hell of a thing, and we were talking about it, that it's one thing, then, and we've seen an example of this with Drew Pomerantz this year, a guy who was out of baseball and now is an effective piece for this Cubs bullpen right now. And it's a credit to Rich Hill that one of three things has to be true, right? He still loves the game.
Oh yeah,
still loves the money.
Sure.
Or he's looking for that championship ring that we were talking about.
I thought you were going to say number 3 doesn't want to go home.
Doesn't want to go.
Yep.
Loves
Could
the
be that too.
hotels.
Yeah.
He's running up
Loves
those
the
Embassy
Ritz.
Suites points right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, loves the Ritz. But I'm curious that you mentioned it. I know we're going to get back to the Cubs in a moment, but just based on that performance today, do you think that he maybe did enough in a version of an audition that he can maybe help a team with
I was just going to ask you that, because I do think that's one thing he's looking for. He's like, I can make a comeback, and I think he was in his head going after 2 innings. Come on, Rich, like nobody's going to want you if you look like this. And then he buckled down, he got the other innings, and he might have shown enough to get another start from the Royals, and he might have shown enough that some teams like, we could stash him. And if we need him, that's not a bad start the rest of the season.
Like the Brewers, a team that would maybe be looking to acquire on the margins or something like that.
I wouldn't be shocked if somebody was like,
Jed's splash move.
we'll give you
Bring him home.
we'll give you a low A guy,
Bring him home.
some low A guy.
Would you trade Owen Casey for Rich Hill?
Yeah, right.
Straight up. Now
Don't
I'm
put that in the
twirling
chat.
my
We're
mustache.
joking. We're joking. Players he's most like, according to Baseball Reference, right? You had these?
Yeah.
Nathan Eovaldi, Dennis Rasmussen, the former Cub, and Clay Buchholz. I would have never thought those guys. I was thinking more Jamie Moyer and
Jeff Facero. I looked up. Well, Jeff Facero was just a lefty pitcher to me that played for 1,000 different teams, was effective at different times, and brought everything that you would think of when you think of veteran guile. Like that's what we saw from Rich Hill tonight. And you're right, man. He was sweating. He was gassed. He's probably a little gassy. He was cursing. He barely got through it. Then he kind of got into a bit of a rhythm. And again, he got some nice weak contact from a Cubs lineup. Like Seiya didn't really know what to do with Rich Hill tonight.
Yeah. Will with a funny one in the chat says, Mark Pryor was Hill's teammate, and then Mark Pryor was his pitching coach with the Dodgers.
That's a great one.
That's how long he's been around. I mean, it's been a long time. Anyways, hats off to Rich Hill. I thought it was cool, even if he doesn't get another start, if this were the last appearance of his major league career, I don't know if that's the case, but if it were to be, it'd be pretty cool that it started and ended at Wrigley Field.
By the way, Mark Pryor is younger than Rich Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Pryor's 44.
Well, I mean, Rich Hill, if he had come up earlier, I mean,
Sure.
He played at Michigan, so he's a little bit older and took a little bit. I mean, he didn't make his debut till he was 25. I mean, that's another reason some of these guys have more innings and strikeouts. They debuted earlier.
He's lefty Edwin Jackson.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Matthew
for
Boyd
a
actually
million
reminds
teams.
me of Rich Hill a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Rich Hill had a season that I like what I'm seeing from Matthew Boyd, but reminds me of him a little bit. I just thought it was awesome. I thought it was a cool storyline. Bootzilla says he was gassy. Derek Jewett says Rich Hill needs 4 seasons.
We can help him with that.
William Fair says if we're sincerely talking about Charlie Morton, then why not? For Rich Hill. That's right. I would agree with Wrigley Man 1. He kept a great Cubs offense to 3 runs, 1 earned, in 5 innings. And considering the way those first 2 innings went, I think somebody paid attention to it.
Well, and that was door number 1 and door number 2 that we were walking through, right? Is we were either going to smash these dreams of the 45-year-old Rich Hill and knock him out in the 2nd or 3rd inning, or as you mentioned, and maybe this is of Cubs teams past, this would be the prototypical pitcher that would come in and twirl 6 shutout innings on 3 hits. Where did that come from? He's pumping 89. Why can't we hit this guy? It was a little bit more in the middle, which was nice to see. But no, yeah, it's a cool story, especially the fact that he started with the Cubs. I'm much younger than him, by the way, also. And if it was...
Well, good for you.
Yeah, I'm just mentioning. I don't know if anyone's asking. And also, if it was a movie, yeah, I mean, he did a couple things that were... I just saw F1 recently, and if anyone saw F1, it'd be like the announcers at the time would be like, he's getting all this weak contact. How is he doing it? So who knows what happens in the future with Rich Hill, but I think it was a cool thing to see.
I was 5 when he debuted.
So I was covering a game at Wrigley
Same.
Field when you were 5.
I was starting kindergarten.
Go to your rooms.
So you both remember at recess when Rich Hill pitched, like,
Big time.
in the
absolutely.
cafeteria. You guys remember that?
I had my grandpa's True Value Cubs radio that only played 720.
Stop. Jesse Rogers tweeted Matthew Boyd's 10. This is according to ESPN Stats Info. Matthew Boyd's 10 straight games with 5 innings and 2 or fewer runs allowed is tied for the 2nd longest streak by a Cubs pitcher in the last 125 seasons, trailing John Lester in 2016.
It's pretty impressive.
It makes sense
Pretty
with what
dang
we've
impressive.
seen.
I would have thought Jake Arrieta would be on that list too.
Sure.
But this is an impressive run. And it's, like I said, I can't say enough how important he's been. When we went back, I think a week ago or so, at the All-Star game, we're like, who's the most important player? I said him because you're doing this without Steele and you're doing it without Shota for 2 months. But you're also factoring in it's been Noah Saad. You've had nothing from Wicks. You've had very little from Ben Brown. Like if you go back to spring training and you take the big list of guys that you think are going to have a major impact on this team, Steele's not there. Shota wasn't there. Tyone is hurt now. Wicks isn't around. Brown isn't producing. You got like 5 starters that you can go through and say, not what we expected. And this guy has been everything and then some. He's been, I don't know where the Cubs would be this year without him, to be honest.
And now the way that he's rolling right now, if you paired him up in a matchup against Freddie Peralta or Mizorowski or Brandon Woodruff, I'd feel great about it. I'd feel pretty good about our chances. I really would. And it's a testament to the dude's hard work. They got it right. You know what I mean? We talk a lot about all-star snubs all the time. Mm-hmm. Matthew Boyd being named to the all-star team makes a lot of sense. And I've seen people in the comments, the way he's trending right now, you guys are right. He will get Cy Young votes. I'm not saying he's the Cy Young of the National League, but the dude is going to get some votes the way that he's rolling right now.
And when you have a chance, go back and look at the responses on Twitter to the Cubs announcement that they're signing Matt Boyd. It's a lot of old takes exposed.
Well, we were like, I remember sitting here with Cody and being like, well, I'm cool with it, but that can't be their big move. That can't be their big pitcher because there's just no history. I mean, I think it was Fangraphs had him predicted for like 40 innings this season.
4 wins, yeah. I did that show with you guys.
And that we were sitting there going, well, they think he's a reliever. They either think he's going to pitch like a month, or they think he's going to end up being used as a reliever. We do have to take time out here coming up pretty quick. I do ask real quick question. Would you rather have your Cy Young be the best pitcher that year on a bad team or the best pitcher on the best team? I'm asking you Skeens versus Matthew Boyd.
I like to win. So I
think it's important.
Cy Young on the best team.
I think for me the answer is it depends on how good that other guy is. It's not his fault he's on a bad team.
Yeah.
Skeens. That's all I'm saying.
You're onto something there. Paul Skeens is...
Let's take our ad break while people can
Pretty
marinate
good.
with that.
All right,
one.
we'll do it. We're going to talk about PCA. We're going to talk about the Brewers and trade targets in a second. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Luke, did you know Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports in Illinois. And I got to tell you, Circa Sports, they hung out with us at the Bears tailgate this year. We had a great time.
Yep.
They're great dudes. And ladies, as I should say. And
Come
Circa
out to the
Sports,
Friday 120 Club.
Friday 120 Club, too, as well. They're a great hang in Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports, Illinois. High betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams at every game this season. They got spreads, props, futures, or in-game Circa Sports. They have it all. Fun and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. So download your new bookie today at circasports.com. You must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? You should call 1-800-GAMBLER. Love Circa Sports.
I'm still spending all the money I won on my Super Bowl bets with Circa. That's all I'm going to say. Speaking of money, Joey.
Bet like a pro.
Yeah. Monarch Money is more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for your accounts, your investments, and your goals. Don't just manage your money. Start building wealth with 50% off your first year for our listeners. This is important. The older you get, the more you realize you got to keep track of these things. It's not easy to keep track of your money with all those packages arriving at the door all week long. They're at my door. I don't even know what they are. They're just a package in the door, package in the door, package in the door. With all your accounts, credit cards, and investments in one place, you'll know where your money stands without the hassle. Named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Financial stress, one of the top reasons that relationships fall apart. Monarch Money makes those money conversations easier. So get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use the code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code CHGO. Know where your money is at. We're back. Vanilla Chill says Cy Young is the best pitcher overall. In my opinion, doesn't matter how bad the team is. Interesting. We're moving on to our new segment called Cards from the Vault, sponsored by Arena Club. Let's rip my newest slab pack. Ooh. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I used to have slab pack for abs back in the early 20s of my life. Now, I don't. So here we go. You ready to rip this card? Here he is. Here he is. The big slab pack
Corbin
rip. I put $100 in this baby, and I got out Aaron freaking Judge.
All right. Look at you go.
Woo! Right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO. Use the code CHGO here at the end of the month into August. We have the convention center in Rosemont has the big national collectors deal. They've got a booth there. Make sure you stop by. They're going to have a bunch of promos, both national and local. Tell them CHGO sent you. Said, what up with the slab packs? We heard Stucky used to have slab packs back in the day. Now I get mine from Arena Club, not from sit-ups. That's what I tell Sarah all the time. That's where I get my slab packs now, only from Arena Club. Aaron Judge, yeah. So if somebody wants to, make me an offer for that Aaron Judge.
Let the bidding begin in the chat here.
He's available. He's available for you, huh? I saw somebody in the live YouTube chat saying Skeens is not getting traded. Yeah, would 100% agree.
Sure
with that.
about that?
Yeah, it's not him.
Positive? All right.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
This year?
The amount of players some team would have to send, teams just don't want to do that.
Casey
right
straight
now.
up?
Yeah, if that were enough, I would do that in a heartbeat. You kidding me?
Yeah, Pittsburgh's got Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. Crosby's in the back end of their hockey. They can't get rid of Skeens. Like this, it's a good sports
It'd be
town.
awesome if they did. And then they would
Shout out to my wife's sports town. Can't do
invest,
that.
Invest fully in Rich Hill. Just go.
He was on their team. He had them.
Yeah.
Probably let him go.
Oh, the big dumper is homered, and it's 1-0 Seattle.
Let's go.
Let's go, Mariners.
Let's go.
This is a Cal Raleigh podcast.
As the kids
Catch
say,
the
let's
fish.
go.
Yeet, yeet, Luke. Yeet, yeet.
Let's go.
Want it, need it.
Yeet.
I'm not a let's go guy. Not at all.
I mean, can I just want to say just really quick that I watched your guys' show last night. And the Cubs lose 12-4.
I wasn't on it. You keep saying that.
What's that?
He
You
means
keep-
our
you keep-
the
yeah,
CHGO Cubs show.
You kept pointing to me.
We're a team.
So-
Yeah.
You were here in spirit.
Yeah, always,
Uh-huh.
always in spirit, haunting and ghosting about, if you will.
It was Kevin Wells last night.
It was Kevin, yeah. And I love the show, but it's funny. I'm honestly really, it just starts to really hit you now that the Brewers have caught the Cubs, that this season is special and fun. This Cubs team is good. I don't know exactly where it's heading right now, but it's so fun to see that in a 162-game season, the passion now is so ratcheted up that these losses that come out of nowhere, they hurt. They hurt a little bit more. And it's July, and we're about to do some scoreboard watching, and we got 60-plus games of baseball to go. And it's just, I don't know. I'm excited. It's a really fun time.
Well, we're leading up to Cubs Brewers early next week, and we've gone from Cubs with the best record in baseball, tied for the best record in baseball with the Brewers, Brewers now with the best record in baseball, and by the end of tonight, we hope tied for the best record in baseball with the Brewers again. I've said that they need to really make some hay here against the Royals and the White Sox coming up. We'll talk about that in a bit. Did you see PCA, the bit? I think they showed it in the broadcast team. PCA stopping by a lemonade stand in Wrigleyville, and then the kid ended up taking the money and getting the PCA haircut with the stars.
Yeah.
I mean,
blue-haired kid from Pat Murphy, right?
It's sort of unbelievable that the Cubs traded for Kyle Tucker, and somebody has so greatly passed him in popularity, even though he's a terrific player, and I want the Cubs to give him $500 million. PCA has just vaulted. If it weren't for Caleb Williams, PCA would be the biggest star in town. I still think he's close, but football is such king.
Sure.
Now, if Caleb has a bad start, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But I'm just saying,
times,
But I'm just saying, if Caleb doesn't have a great season, PCA may pass him anyway.
Yeah.
It's that this town is split.
We did several pods over the winter when it was freezing outside, talking about the Chicago Cubs, and I remember we would have these talks about who is that big fish that the Cubs are going to reel in?
Yeah.
Who is that big star that's going to take over baseball in this city? Who is going to be on the big, huge billboard at Clark and Addison? And the call was coming from inside the house, because wouldn't you say PCA would be on that big billboard right now?
Yes.
More than Kyle Tucker?
Yeah, but absolutely. But they still need multiple guys like that. One guy doesn't get it done in baseball. It's not having Giannis and a couple of role players. You have to have multiple players. Sandberg and Dawson, right?
Yeah.
Rizzo, Bryant, that was a collection of players that were having a great time. And that's more what this team is a lot of guys having amazing seasons. The Matthew Boyds, you have Tucker, you have Seiya having a great year. Carson Kelly's had a spectacular season for a guy that you just expected to be totally pedestrian. And so that's what it's more about. I can't get over how much popularity he has just been drawing in. I was watching the quarterback show a little bit this afternoon, and I was watching Joe Burrow with his fashion person picking out outfits, and I thought to myself, is PCA sort of the Joe Burrow version in baseball?
Bleached their hair?
Right? They both have some flair with the hair. They both like the fashion thing. PCA was at the All-Star game drawing fashion, talking about how he was drawing from Lindor, and he's describing his outfit to everybody and who he was wearing, yada, yada, yada. And I thought to myself, they also have some similarities on the field. Joe Cool's got a lot of, he gets pretty fired up on the field about stuff, and PCA, if there's a football comparison to PCA, I hope it's Patrick Mahomes, but Joe Burrow wouldn't be a bad comparison either.
I also think Kyle Tucker was somewhat of the most under-the-radar superstar in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
When the Cubs acquired Kyle Tucker, it's not like he was a household name.
Not in Chicago.
Not in Chicago. In Houston, sure. But everywhere else that wasn't playing Houston regularly, not really.
Yeah, he's one of the quietest top 10 players in baseball as far as he's not a flashy guy. He was on a good team.
You wouldn't have to convince a lot of people if you traded for Bryce Harper
or Soto.
If you had traded for Juan Soto, man, the Cubs just got a superstar. Instead, this was, no, you need to go look at his baseball reference page. I'm telling you, he's a great player.
Yeah. Bragg's pointing out because he's got to pull the Bears into this. Cale was like that with unique fashion. Absolutely.
Sure.
Well,
but he, of course, has not had the success of Joe Burrow or PCA yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of NFL comps right now, and the first couple that come to mind is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Has the same kind of, what do we call it, Sarah? Riz? Same kind of Riz.
And, as I like to say, sick drip.
Correct.
I'd rather not say either
Correct.
of those.
Sick drip. Well, a lot of people have said to me, like, PCA, you, Joe Burrow.
And then, the other one I thought of too was he's got a little Saquon
person here.
There's a little Saquon in him too as well. PCA, yeah. Just the athleticism, the
jumping over people, backwards.
the highlight reel type plays. Still young in his career, and it also kind of makes me think now that it is really an interesting concept that we have Caleb, PCA. And I don't know what's going to happen with Modest Buzelis, but they're all interesting personalities.
They're all friends with each other.
And they're all players that need to get better. I'm not saying that all three of them are stars, especially not Modest. But it is interesting that we do have some engaging personalities on the younger side in Chicago sports right now.
Caleb, PCA, and Modest also seem to be relatively friendly outside of the game.
I'm not ready to move Modest into that league of where PCA is at right now, or Joe Burrow, and hopefully Caleb. Man, I hope Caleb joins the Joe Burrow club. That would be great. That would be really something.
A couple of guys who haven't won the big game.
Joe Burrow was wearing, they showed him at Fashion Week, and he's got like the all black suit on with the back has a giant hole. Looks like a cannon went off and blew the back of his coat and shirt off. That's like, holy cow.
He always looks like a bad guy chasing Schwarzenegger in an 80s sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
He's just that vibe.
It's actually a really, really good show. Hey, we want to remind people, by the way, speaking of Brags, we have a Die Hard deal, exclusive deal right now, where we have an event coming up on the 15th of August. First of all, we have the Hogan Johns deal, which, introductory offer. There's a new hat. There's the Hogan Johns T-shirt, all that stuff. Good time to join, because where else are you going to get content like that? Patrick Wright and stuff over there. Rooftops. We normally do the Friday 120 Club in the bleachers. On the 15th of August against the Pirates, we will meet 10 a.m. Murphy's Bleachers. I'll be there. Not sure about Brags yet, because that is a co-practice.
It is a joint practice.
I believe against Buffalo then. But Murphy's Bleachers, 10 a.m. Then we're going to go over to the rooftop left field corner next to the firehouse. It's all you can eat, all you can drink, plus your ticket. And, of course, vibes for life.
I might wear the Joe Burrow top that day.
The suit with the hole in the back?
Yeah.
I've got some old suits that I haven't been wearing. I could do that.
Yeah.
You've worked some tough nights, at the desk. I'm sure that you maybe burned through
I have so many suits
shirts
that are collecting dust right now. Do you know, I actually, the night that Chris Sale went in and cut the sleeves off of the jerseys he didn't wear, I had a jacket, and I'm like, this suit can go. It was like a custom suit, but I was old, and I had another one like it. So I cut the sleeves off, and I did the show with sleeveless suit coat for sports.
July 23rd, 2016.
Is that what it was?
I'm fairly certain that Mike Montgomery gave up 3 runs for the Cubs, too.
Interesting. Yeah, I did a sleeveless show. I do know that.
Yeah, stop by Robert Nash. Stop by Murphy's and say hello. We would love that.
That would be great.
We would love that.
We're going to get into this trade talk here in the last segment because, as you mentioned, we've got the target tomorrow. Seth Lugo is pitching for the Royals. He's been one of the pitchers mentioned, along with a lot of other guys, as potential trade targets for the Cubs. So they will possibly get an up-close look at this guy tomorrow at Wrigley Field in the series finale. We'll talk more about him, some other names that might interest you, and just the amount of players that they might be looking at right now. I sure hope they're closing in, because I don't want them to wait till the end of the trade deadline. I think they need to strike fast, and then if other stuff happens, great. But boy, in the next couple days, I want to see a move from the Cubs. We'll talk more about that in a second, but first, a word from our sponsors. Heyo, new vehicles in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. This is your chance to score a great deal at the Employee Pricing Plus Sales event. Right now, lease the new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for only $399 a month for 27 months. Plus, Shop over 125 vehicles they have priced under $20,000. The expert team at Ray's CDJR is there to help you on every step of your car shopping journey. They prioritize affordability. With Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons, no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. It's that simple. Check out our partner today and shop one of the area's largest inventories. Don't miss out on the employee pricing plus sales event for huge savings on the Ram 1500. For more information, visit Ray's CDJR on Route 12 in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com.
We got to let you know about Game Time, because Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to first pitch. So if you feel like being a Ferris Bueller, you want to go to the Cubs game, you got to check out Game Time. They have killer last-minute deals, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. So pick out any specific games or matchups that you'd love to attend, and it will be easy to find and buy MLB tickets for every kind of event in your area and views from all seats in the venue. There are zone deals, so save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose those seats. 10% off exclusive deals for upcoming Chicago Cubs home games. They have exclusive zone deals just for the Cubs. So here's what you got to do. August 3rd versus the Orioles, perfect time. Zones 29 through 32. So here's what you also can do. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem $20 off using code CHGO. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Cubs win 6-0. Rich Hill was good, but not good enough for the Royals because Matthew Boyd was spectacular and the offense put together enough scrap to pull out 6 runs. Hopefully, the Brewers will go on to lose, and the Cubs will be back in first place by the end of this podcast. We shall see. The trade deadline still over a week away, but we're getting close. We're getting close, and we're waiting, Jed. We're waiting for the moves. The Brewers caught the Cubs, so what's going to happen? First of all, Owen Casey, 5 for 5 tonight for Iowa. Home run, a double, and 2 RBI. I believe he was a triple short of the cycle.
Yep.
And he took a lot of heat from his teammates for not trying to push it to third.
I would just like to point out, are you sure you can't get him for ski? Are you sure that you can't get speeds? No, I think that the Cubs should approach the trade deadline as if it's Sunday night. You want your guys there for this 3-gamer against Milwaukee.
That's a good point. Well, I certainly would if I'm going to acquire a frontline pitcher, I sure would like to be able to throw him against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'd love to have his first start against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all unfolds. I mentioned this last night, the Passan article. And Passan had this article, Jeff Passan, great writer, knows his baseball stuff, and it was all about his top trade targets, and he kind of ranked them, I think, 1 through 30 or something like that. The Cubs are listed as a fit for 15 of the top 30. So, he ranks the probability of this player being traded, and then an article about each guy, and then the teams that are a fit. The Cubs are listed as a fit for half. So he thinks the Cubs are going to be in on this, and I hope they are. Now, some of the names, one of them is Seth Lugo, the starter for the Royals tomorrow. He's got him at 80% traded.
Yeah, Royals are having a bad year. That makes sense.
That means there will be a lot.
And they want to keep Bubic.
There will be a lot of scouts watching it because everybody that is pushing for the playoffs, everybody wants starting pitching.
Sure.
I don't know that he pushes the needle for me that much,
nope.
Lugo. I would love it if they acquired Lugo and Lugo was the number 2 pitcher they acquired. I'm still in on the party that they could use 2 pitchers. A really frontline guy, which would cost a lot.
Yep.
Especially if he's got some control. And then I still would like another guy. Now, Lugo does fit that bill for me. If he was the only guy they got, do I feel good about Boyd, Shota, Lugo versus Ms. Peralta, Woodruff? I would give the edge to the Brewers on that.
Well, I had, walking into this, I say 2.5 players acquired by Jed by the trade deadline. I'm asking for the over on that. I think 3 players And look at this list here. There's 15 out of 30 here. Only one of them is a position player. We all know who it is. It's Suarez on Arizona.
Yep.
That would be great.
He's
but there's
the
14
90%
pitchers.
chance of being traded.
And there's a couple things that this says to me. And Patrick, I agree with you, man. That Sunday night would be a great night to strike because who is going to make the first move? And if you are the Chicago Cubs, if you're potentially tied or rumored to maybe not every single one of these pitchers, but a strong handful of them, you would like to say to yourself that you would be able to get the pick of the litter just a little bit. Now, I think conventional wisdom says that the Detroit Tigers farm system is probably better than the Cubs or maybe a little bit deeper in terms of high end of what they could pass back. But if you're Jed Hoyer, you are in this position right now to maybe go out and target exactly who you want, get the deal done. And yeah, Owen Casey is probably going to be the centerpiece, or at least the centerpiece in the framework of what a trade would be. And I will also say this, and hear me out, everybody. And you're more than welcome to disagree with me. But if we want to talk about this 11-game winning streak for the Brewers right now, in my opinion, I'm trying to spin this positive as best I can. I think it's a great time for this to happen. If the Brewers are ever going to get hot, if they are going to ever track down and make this a race with the Cubs, this is the perfect time to do it. Don't do it in late August when we can't do anything about the roster. And for me, Jed Hoyer still does not have a contract heading into this offseason. And I think there could have been a moment somewhere along the way this year when we're 6 games up. Kyle Tucker's awesome. PCA's awesome. He's had a great offseason. He truly has. He's remade the bullpen. Or maybe Jed Hoyer, hopefully he would maybe just for half a second maybe want to throw his hands up and say, maybe we can just go around the fringes. Maybe we can be marginal and just add to the team around the fringes of a team that I've already built and I think is awesome. I think the Brewers getting back into this division race puts it on Jed to continue to have to earn that contract extension that I do think that he will earn. But again, the job is not done. And we are in a real division race right now with a really good team. Who knows how hot the Brewers are going to stay, but the fact that it's happening right now, I think bodes well for Cubs fans that want us to shop for those elite top pitchers right now.
Doesn't part of you think that Jed may have already received an extension?
Oh, well, I think Jed
I
Jed
think
is
so.
safe.
Yeah.
I was saying last night, I don't think he was the beginning of the season. He was at a hot seat, but all of his moves have worked out well, and they have the best record in baseball.
Yep.
So now he needs to have an equally good trade deadline for me. I want to ask you the same question that I asked Kevin Wells. Is it possible that if Owen Casey is on the Cubs, in the Cubs franchise organization, if he's still part of it after the trade deadline, is it possible that that means they didn't make a big move? A big enough move? Like, I would like to see him stay, and I agree with the chat. You don't usually trade that guy.
No.
It has to be a big haul. And so for all the that's what I'm asking. For all the people that want the big haul, if Casey's on the team, does that signify that it didn't happen?
I'm not convinced. I think there are other players that you can deal. I'm also sick of the idea that to pull off a big trade, and let's be real, there are no Juan Sotos on the trade market this year. There are no unbelievably great players.
And according to Jed, there are no untradables either.
Sure.
There are no untouchables.
Yep. There are, to me, teams have been able to pull off these big deadline moves without trading their top prospects. And I'd like the Cubs to be one of those teams that can do that this time around.
And just to be clear, are you saying like if it was Eugenio Suarez and they were able to get it done for Ben Brown or Jackson Wiggins or somebody else and Casey is still on the team, I still am liking what we are acquiring. It depends on the type of player because to Patrick's point, that we had those dreams of DeGrom and Chris Sale, and those things have gone by the wayside weeks ago. I mean, none of these names on here. I think a lot of these guys on this list can be difference makers.
I love Mitch Keller. I'm all in on Mitch Keller.
I like Mitch Keller a lot,
got
too.
him at 50%. He's got Merrill Kelly at 70%. Cabrera, scouts were there tonight, 30%. I like the idea of Cabrera. He's got control. He's got high upside. Mackenzie Gore is still my dream.
Sure.
Cabrera's on my I'd be very happy list. Bubic would be on my also dream list. He's only at 15%. Clase, 20%.
I like that. You see his contract, and you've seen the production that he's had, and it's been a little bit off this year, which kind of helps his value out just a little bit.
I was encouraged to see it was as high as 20%. Bednar, 60%.
Yeah.
Clase would be, Kelly. I mean, the option is if you can't get I think we've mentioned this before, like I believe if you can't get the frontline guy, if you can't get a big deal for Mackenzie Gore, if you can't pull off a big deal for Cabrera, if you can't pull off a big deal for Bubic, whoever you're targeting, if that doesn't happen and you have to go Keller and Lugo or whatever that combo might be, then the answer might be just going hardcore on the bullpen and trying to shorten the postseason and everything else, knowing that you can save some of your starters that way by shortening the game with a wicked bullpen. And, of course, it's a nice way to do it in the postseason, too, because those guys, the starters, they're out after 2.
Flip it around, too. If Owen Casey is not on the team after July 31st, doesn't that signal to you that a Kyle Tucker extension is in the pipeline?
I would say it better.
Right? You're not moving him unless you're confident
there's another
as hell.
Yeah, unless there's another player that you're already thinking, well, if we lose Tucker in free agency, we could get this guy or we could go trade for somebody else later in the offseason. I mean, last year, I said it, but I don't think most people thought the Cubs were trading Paredes. I kind of thought for sure they were.
Yeah.
Well, the offseason,
he was controllable. It's like they can use that deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they could have ran it back with Paredes and Horner and also try and do Matt Shaw. I don't think they could have brought there was a redundancy there. The only one that I would say is that if you were to play in the world where Kyle Tucker either walks or decides to pick a different destination from the Cubs, and hopefully it's not because he got outbid, would be that Seiya goes back to right field, and then fire up the Kyle Schwarber returns to Chicago. Conversations of him at DH and Seiya at right field.
Throw the bank at Schwarbs.
And then the mandate would be bring in another top flight pitcher too as well, and spend $300 million on 2 players instead of $500 million on 1 player. But just to be very, very clear, I like King Tuck. King Tuck in right field. There aren't many of them out there.
I would love to have Schwarbs back.
Yeah.
I think it was Turd Ferguson that was asking earlier if I still fit in those suits that I was talking about earlier. My 10-year wedding anniversary is coming up, and I think I still fit in the old custom tuxedo.
Hey, look at you go.
Slab pack.
I mean, it probably would be a little uncomfortable, but I think I still fit.
Not like a fat guy in a little coat type thing? No?
No. The coat would definitely fit. It might not button, but it would fit enough.
Discomfort is fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I might have it might rip a big hole in the back, and then I could just tell everybody it was a Joe Burrow fashion move.
Oh, what? You don't know what I'm doing right now?
This is the Burrow look. Come on.
This is in.
Is that Luke doing the Burrow right now? with the little skinny shades just coming in very silently in the office?
I can see Shota pulling it off. By the way, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's Colin Ray for the Cubs against the trade target, Seth Lugo. We'll see what happens. We will have an hour-long post-game show after the day game at Wrigley Field tomorrow, hoping for good weather. Supposed to be really hot out at the ballpark. And so that makes me wonder how long will you get out of those starters anyway? Because if they're laboring at all and pitching at near 100 degrees, be interesting to see how the guys do.
Yeah, why am I blanking on the series when we were losing umpires and pitchers were cramping up at Wrigley last month? Why am I blanking on what series that was?
I don't remember that.
It was real. How we had the umpire pass out after the game, and
I remember that.
It was.
I don't remember last week.
I remember. Yeah.
The only thing I remember is the Cubs used to be in first place, and hopefully within a few minutes, Cleveland? They might be back in first place.
You still thought Rich Hill was on the Cubs when you walked in tonight.
I didn't know he left. Thanks to Joey and Patrick for stopping in today and helping out. Cubs win 6-0. We have the rubber match tomorrow. We'll be here for the post-game show. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs postgame show presented by Toyota and Bet365. Make sure you subscribe to the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger. And don't forget, after watching the show, always remember, thanks for watching and fly the W.
Go Mariners.
We all silly like the mayor.